In the last episode, we finally make it down to Grenada and quickly abandon the boat.
Goodbye, Paradox. We're going to hotel.
In this episode, we get to work on some neglected projects, ending up breaking more than we fix, and take some time to enjoy calm weather in the Grenadines.
Will surprised me with this hotel room. Want to give us the grand tour?
Sure. King size bed, a lot different than a boat. Little kitchenette back there, but really.
You did great, babe. We're back on the boat from our glorious time off, and that means we gotta start fixing some things. This sink drain is totally messed up. It corroded so badly that we just took off that side. But now, gotta install a new drain, and Will's even considering redoing all of this plumbing. We'll see how this goes.
Look at this. Awful. So I'm gonna try to disassemble this whole thing, maybe rebuild it, but at least disassemble and clean it. So we fixed the drain, but within a day of that, I managed to break off the faucet and the handle. So now we had to rig up this thing so that it doesn't, we just put a hose clamp on so it doesn't retract into the nether regions of the boat and have to turn it on with that little guy. Still works.
What you doing down here, babe?
I'm looking for a coolant leak.
So what are you doing? Tracing?
Yeah, just following the lines that run from the engine to the hot water heater to see where the leak is, but it's not obvious.
So we've been losing coolant pretty steadily, and it just hit high gear to the point where every time we turn on the engine, it basically runs right out of coolant. We fixed one hose.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I found it.
You found it?
Yep. Look at that.
So you're gonna cut that and then reattach it with a new hose clamp?
Yeah, it feels good down here. It's just this end where they had over-tightened a hose clamp.
Okay. Today may be the day that I lose Will. He has never gone down here before. I don't know how he's gonna get his body back up. How you doing down there, babe?
Yeah, it's alright, but I'm not clear on how I'm getting out.
Is there any way that I can help you? Don't worry, I am recording all of this.
Put a piece of foam where my dong is.
Nice work! So once we got everything on the boat fixed, we left to go pick up our buddy Jack, who's one of our friends from San Francisco. He had a bit of a hard time getting into Grenada. There was some issues with immigration. We're at the airport, and poor Jack, he was able to get on the plane but has been emailing us frantically, and we don't have internet access on the boat. Apparently they almost didn't let him get on the flight because they needed our boat serial number.
What a crazy morning.
Welcome!
How are you guys? Hello.
But then of course, as soon as we get back from the airport, our outboard for our dinghy decides, after starting perfectly every single time, it decides it doesn't want to start.
Yamaha 8C 2-stroke carburetor. The engine won't start, so narrowed it down. I think it's probably a dirty carb. Pulled it off. That's where the air and fuel go out into the cylinder. This is the choke. That's the fuel bowl. That's about all I know about carburetors.
And just to clarify, this is our outboard engine.
Yeah. Diesels don't have carburetors.
Aha.
And I've learned how to rebuild carburetors and do about everything you can do on an outboard short of replace a piston. But that didn't fix it.
So everything's reinstalled. Got the carburetor back on. Hook the fuel up. Alright, fuel bowl is filled. Spark plug caps are firm. Choke off. A little bit of throttle. Let's see what happens.
Oh, no.
Not shit.
This began a many island ordeal of trying to fix the outboard.
So long, Prickly Bay!
About time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, where are we headed?
Don't know yet.
We're going somewhere north, along the coast of Grenada.
Look who's not driving the boat.
Whoa, how'd that happen?
We finally fixed an autopilot.
Yeah.
Will traded the autopilot for the outboard.
Yeah.
Well, this turned out kind of interesting, huh, Jack?
A little bit. Trying to get the outboard fixed.
Will's been surrounded by, what, 4 locals?
4 locals, all trying to help, all trying to give their 2 cents. Now we're just sitting here on the dock in Petite Martinique.
Yeah.
Grab some cold beers because
We're drinking because we're not helping.
we're not helping and we're just trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah, so our buddy Jack came on board and we found ourselves paddling our dinghy around the Grenadines. But it was sweet. He happened to get there for great weather. What on the way down southwards through the Grenadines was pretty rough. We had like 10 to 15 knots of breeze every day, so it was plenty to sail, but it meant all the anchorage we were super comfortable, the visibility was great.
Well, life's pretty awesome. I love it here. Super happy to be here. Content.
So what it turned out the problem was, and I had overlooked this along with 6 other kind of local amateur mechanics. We kept on thinking, if you've got fire, sparks from the plug, fuel going through the system and through the carburetor, and air, then it should start. But what we neglected was this little arm right here. It's connected to the throttle, so that when you turn the throttle and it opens up the carburetor to let more air and fuel in, this arm adjusts this ignition timing, I think. But either way, I hadn't noticed it, but it had snapped, this little plastic turnbuckle, and I guess it just meant that regardless of where you had the throttle set, you could pull the starter cord and the timing would be off and it would just never catch.
What do we got here, Will?
Working outboard.
In the next episode, we race north to St. Martin. Along the way, we get delayed by storms in Dominica, see the sights in Antigua, and catch some tasty fish on our passages.